Okay, so here's the fifth thing I want you to do. Let me find the article again. Okay. So you see in Note 5, Herbert E. Bolton, The Epic of Greater America. Now, if you look at that, you should notice that this article appeared in a journal called the American Historical Review, which is a very prominent journal in my field. And I want to stop and make a point. The the essay in footnote 3, Transnationalism and the Challenge to National History, that essay appeared in a book of essays, where the Bolton article, The Epic of Greater America, it appeared in a journal. And the thing about academic journals, like the journal, the American Historical Review, it's a journal, it comes out 4 times a year. It has about 4 articles per issue. And those articles, it's very prestigious to get articles published in the journal. And what you need to know is that articles that appear in journals are very, very heavily peer reviewed, in the sense that a bunch of other historians have looked at this article and they've made a comment on it. Now, the article that you're reading, my article, it went through a very, very rigorous peer review as well. I wrote it and I sent it off to a journal called Journal of American History, and they actually didn't accept it. Which was disappointing to me, and actually I thought they didn't treat me very nicely, and I've never published with them again. But what happens is that they sent it out, and it was peer reviewed, and 3 historians wrote comments on my article, the early draft of the article. And they wrote about what they liked about it, and they wrote about what they didn't like about it. And that was kind of helpful. Of course, I was disappointed that they said no, but a couple of people said some interesting things that made me realize that that I should keep trying. Because there's a bunch of journals. Just because a journal says no doesn't mean that something won't be published. I mean, this is obviously published. And I have to say, this article that I wrote has had far more impact than any article that came out in the Journal of American History in 2012. I can tell you that for sure. Anyway, be that as it may. So I worked on it again, and this is where my mentor really came in handy. I was pretty discouraged because this journal had rejected it. And I sent it to him, and he said that I was onto something. That what I was thinking about, the way I was thinking about it, I can still remember his phrase. He said he thought it was a game changer. So I've always been very, very grateful to Tom for keeping me going, building my morale. So what I did was I rewrote the article. There were some things that I actually didn't understand that well. I had to sit down and it's a very complicated, there's a lot of moving parts to this story. And when you do transnational history, you have to learn the history of the United States and Mexico. So it's a lot of work. So I rewrote the article, and then I went and I sent it to the Journal of the Civil War Era. And there's a guy by the name of William Blair there who had published something of mine before. And he's always been very sympathetic to my work and very supportive. And he sent it out again to 3 more reviewers. And this time the reaction was far more positive. They all 3 suggested that the journal publish it, the Journal of the Civil War Era, but they wanted me to make some revisions. They thought that there were some things that needed to be done to make it sharper. That some points that I was making weren't clear enough, and they also suggested some other reading I needed to do. Nothing too crazy, but I was very grateful, not only because they said that the article should be published, but because they told me how I could strengthen the article. That's what I was really, really happy about. And so I went back and redid it again a 3rd time, but it wasn't as major a revision. And then I sent it back to this journal, and they published it. So what you're seeing what you're reading is the third revision of an article that took me about 2 years to write. Okay, so what's the assignment? I'm sure that's what you really care about. I want you to see if you can find the Epic of Greater America. And it's easy as pie. I tell you, it's ridiculously easy. So this speech, it was actually a presidential speech that he gave in the 30s, Bolton. It appeared in this journal. And all you have to do for journal articles is go into Library Quick Search and type in the title of the article. And then you can download it on a PDF. Could it be any easier? No, it could not be any easier. So here's the thing that I want you to do. And I know it's a little bit wasteful, but I want you to go in and I want you to print out the Epic of Greater. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. This makes a lot more sense. Just print out the first page. Download it on a PDF, and then just print out the first page of the Epic of Greater America. Put your name on it and your email on it. And I just want you to get into a habit of understanding that when you see something that's published in a journal, that you can have access to it within seconds. Now, this is not true with endnote number 3, the transnationalism and the challenge to national histories. You can't pull that up as quickly because it's part of a book. You have to get the book to find the article. So when an article or an essay appears in a book, you actually have to have the whole book in order to find the article. But if an article appears in a journal, 9 times out of 10, really 95 times out of 100, you can put in the title in Library Quick Search, and then you can download the PDF, and then you have it on your laptop. It's just incredible how easy it is to access articles. So this is the 5th thing that I want you to do. I want you to see if you can find the Epic of Greater America. I want you to download it as a PDF. And I want you to print out the first page of the article, not the whole article, just the first page. And on the yeah, I think that's good enough for now. I think that's good enough for now. So let me repeat: find the Epic of Greater America under Library Quick Search, download it to a PDF, and print out the first page, put your name on it, and turn it in.